So, the most common question I see on any of the bike forums, the Facebook pages, my Facebook pages, other people's Facebook pages, whatever make, model of e-bike you're looking at, is I'm not getting the range that I thought I'd be getting on my e-bike. Why is that? So we're going to get into that today. So what I tell everybody I know to be true and explain it the simple way is e-bike range is like a fingerprint. Every single person's is different. And this is down to multiple factors. Your weight, the condition of the batteries. You can look at air temperature outside. The colder it is, you'll get less range. The hotter it is, believe it or not, you'll get a worse range. There's a medium range. It's a sweet spot for battery range. The make of the batteries, so Samsung, LG, whatever, Tesla will give you better range per watt hour. The watt hour and ampere of the battery will give you better range. A 28 ampere battery obviously will give you better range than a 16 ampere battery. But you also have to factor in the weight of that battery because that decreases it back slightly. Uphill terrain, downhill terrain, all different terrains. Wet weather will actually decrease your battery faster than dry weather, believe it or not. Like I say, your body weight is one of the biggest factors. One of the first things people jump to the conclusion of is the battery. 99.9% of the time there's nothing wrong with the battery. Then they think there's something wrong with the bike, the controller. These are the last routes you want to look down. Battery range, like I said, it's like a fingerprint. Everybody's is different. When you understand this better, you'll understand that when you're drawing more watts from your battery, how much that'll decrease the range. Going uphill will decrease the range. Being it in pass 5 all the time will decrease your range. Rubbish tyres will decrease your range. Bad air pressure in your tyres will decrease your range. All of these micro factors adding into the basic fingerprint of your range affects every rider differently. So what can you do to get better range? Well, first thing I start with is look at your body weight. Now I'm no one to sort of point the finger at people that are overweight, but I weigh 235 pounds at the moment. With my pack on, I'm 250 pounds when I go out on my bike. I'm not going to get the same range as a manufacturer's range because they've used somebody that's probably 11 stone using pass 1 to get their maximum range. There's very few e-bike companies out there that will tell you to give you an actual range for their bikes. And if they do, they're over exaggerated. But don't think they're alone. Car companies have been doing this for decades. They've been saying that the range of their cars are blah, blah, blah. These range tests are done in optimal conditions. So don't think they're any different to car companies. They're trying to sell you a product. And they're trying, to be honest, e-bikes are more fair than car companies for giving you realistic range. One of the things you shouldn't do is buy an e-bike that says you've got 250 mile range with this, because if you're the same weight as me or heavier, you're going to get half that. If you're about to buy an e-bike to get to work and back, you need to know exactly or within 10% of what your actual range is going to be. Now, if you're charging your bike while at work, you obviously get that double that range if you're close to the limit. One of the things I do with my bike is always make sure the tyre pressure is correct. And I say that gingerly because when I did my range test on my Rusher recently with the new battery on, my tyre pressures were shockingly low. So I've got to redo that test. Although I still come out at reasonable mileage, I thought it was low. And it wasn't until I checked the tyre pressures that I realised. And since then I've done other tests and I was way out. So I need to redo that video. One of the things I see on the forums is the first thing when people post what's the range on my battery or what's the range on these bikes. Somebody will jump in and say, I'm getting this. And then you automatically think, oh, I'll get that too. They don't tell you the weight, they don't tell you where they live, they don't tell you the terrain they ride in. They don't tell you if they live in a cold climate or a hot climate or a medium climate like the UK. Different ranges for different temperatures, different ranges for different tyre pressures. different ranges for different body weights. It's quite simple. And like I said, everybody's range is basically a fingerprint. Everybody's is different. So in the comment section, I've added the best rangefinder I've come across. It was found by one of my followers on one of my Facebook groups, Justin. Well done, Justin. And I've used it ever since. It's really good. Within that, you can get a rough idea of what you should be getting from your bike and any prospective bike that you're going to buy. Like I said, none of these companies actually tell you the actual range because they don't know. They don't know your body weight. They don't know where you live. They don't know the temperature of the country you live in. So, you wait until winter. At winter time, I get shockingly bad range. And it's down as much by 30% in freezing weather. When it's really hot, I'm down about 15% in range. But the rest of the year, spring, autumn, I get my best range. And this is down to the temperature being around about 20 degrees outside. That's your optimum temperature for range for batteries. So next time you're thinking, my range is down, or I expected more than this, have a look at this range calculator I put in the comment section. It's pretty accurate, within 10%. So it'll give you a rough idea. I don't think it adds in temperature. I don't think it adds in ambient temperature as a part of the calculator, but for everything else, like I said, it's pretty accurate. Have a nice day, everyone.